What do you think is correct? Do we take iron folic acids during pregnancy only to prevent anemia? Is it to prevent anemia and to also support fetal development? Is it only to support the fetal development, or is it also to reduce physical activity? I would request more participants for this one at least. Let us look at the responses. So 91% have said that it is to prevent anemia and support fetal development. 7% has said to prevent anemia. 2% has said to support fetal development. Well, technically, yes, it is to prevent anemia, and yes, it is to support fetal development, but we have also given an answer which responds to both. It is to prevent anemia amongst mothers and to also support a healthy fetal development. Next slide, please. What does exclusive breastfeeding mean? 1, providing only breast milk and baby formula, for example, lactogen and different types of baby formulas. Does exclusive breastfeeding mean to provide breast milk and sugar water, or is it breast milk and rice water, or does it mean to give only breast milk alone? What is the meaning of exclusive breastfeeding? Let us look at the responses. So 94% have responded that it is only breast milk, while 5% have said it is breast milk and baby formula. We'll go on to asking the next question. The correct answer is only breast milk. How long should a baby be exclusively breastfed? 4 months, 6 months, 12 months, 1,000 days. How long should a baby be exclusively breastfed? So now that you know what is exclusive breastfeeding, how long should a baby be given only breast milk? Can we look at the responses? Okay, can we also have the answer? So 6 months is the period up to when exclusive breastfeeding should be given. It is not for a minimum of 4 months, and it is not for 12 months, nor is it for 1,000 days, okay? We will again deep a little further into the next question. When should complementary feeding begin? So if you relate it to the previous question, I think you'll have your answer. Complementary feeding should begin at birth, at 3 months, at 6 months along with breast milk, or at 6 months and stop breast milk. Can we look at the responses? Okay. When should complementary feeding begin? At birth, 10%. And some also feel that at 6 months, you should introduce complementary feeding and stop breast milk. Well, the correct response is at 6 months, you introduce complementary feeding, but do not stop breast milk, but you continue it. Okay, so together with complementary food, you also provide breast milk, right? Next slide, please. What is 1,000 days? The period from conception until a child reaches 2 years of age, the period from birth until a child reaches 3 years of age, or is it the first 1,000 days after school? What is 1,000 days? Can we look at the responses? The period from conception until a child reaches 2 years of age is the correct answer. 1,000 days starts at conception until a child reaches 2 years of age, right? It is not the period from birth until the child reaches 3 years of age. Okay, next slide. Why are the first 1,000 days critical for a child? 1, growth stops after this period. 2, brain development is rapid and nutrition has lifelong impact. Only physical growth occurs in the first 1,000 days. Learning starts after 1,000 days. What do you think would be the correct answer? Why are the first 1,000 days critical for a child? Can we look at the responses? That is correct. Thank you. Brain development is rapid and nutrition has a lifelong impact during these first 1,000 days. We also call these 1,000 days a golden period. Next slide, please. By what age is 70% of the brain developed? By 18 years of age, when you turn into an adult, at 5 years of age, or is it at 2 years of age? 75% of the brain is developed at what age? Can we look at the responses? Can we also have the answer? The correct answer is at the age of only 2 years. That means in the 1,000-day period, the brain is already developed by 75%, right? It is not at 5 years old, and it is not when you turn into an adult at 18 years old, right? So please keep this in mind. The brain develops at 75 to 80% only in the first 1,000 days, right? This is why we say 1,000 days is very important. Next slide, please. Which of the following helps a child's brain develop and learn better? Rote learning or memorizing, for example, saying A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, sitting in school? Or is it giving a phone to watch videos? Nowadays we have a lot of content on our YouTube channels. So is that a good method for the child to learn? Or is it by playing, exploring, talking, and singing to the child? What do you think helps the child's brain to develop better? Can we also see the responses? That is good to see that 99% have answered. Playing, exploring, talking, and singing to the child is what actually helps the child's brain to develop better. Next slide, please. What is the recommended practice immediately after birth? We're diving into a little bit more technical question. Give water first to the baby as soon as the baby is born. Delay breastfeeding for 24 hours. Start exclusive breastfeeding within the first hour of birth, or feed only formula milk as soon as the child is born. What would be the correct answer? What is the recommended practice immediately after birth? So what is the first thing that we should give the child as soon as the child is born? Can we see the responses? Yes, so that is the correct answer. Start exclusive breastfeeding within 1 hour. Next slide, please. Which indicator is used to identify stunting or chronic malnutrition in children under 5 years of age? Is it weight for height, height for age, weight for age, or is it body mass index? We'll dwell a little bit longer in this while we also look at the responses. Can we see the responses? Okay. Okay. Few more participants. Yeah. Okay, I think we'll go to the correct answer. The correct answer is height for age, right? What is the indicator used to assess or to identify stunting or chronic malnourishment in children under the age of 5 years? It is height for age, okay? Not body mass index, not weight for age, and not weight for height. Yeah? Next slide. Let us see who the winners are. Ah, you didn't mention your name. MZ, congratulations. Who is MZ? Congratulations to MZ, to Om, Iba, Dr. Rupal, of course, and Kenny Rinja from MHSSP. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for participating.
Thank you, Nena, for that. We have doctors, we have, health professionals here. If anybody would like to ask any questions before we start the formal program, anybody dadan mano-mano bakwa ban kali jingkali, you can raise your hand on this poll that was conducted. No. Anyone? Okay. So Chief Minister is on his way. We will begin in 5 minutes. So I will request the sound people to please, play some music in the meantime. Yeah.
Summertime, golden skies, ocean breeze, running wild through memories. Your laugh still echoes in my mind. Feels like I'm lost in summertime. Summertime, summertime, summertime. You're still mine. Summertime, summertime, summertime. In my mind. Barefoot nights and distant stars, falling asleep inside your arms. The days were slow, the nights divine. I still dream of summertime. Summertime, whispers in the dark. Summertime, you still hold my heart. Summertime, like waves that never fade. Summertime, you're my sweet escape. Summertime, 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 you're still mine. Summertime, 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 in my mind. Chasing highs too far gone, like the summer of 15. Hold me tight, let's drift on, like the summer of 15. Cool nights, neon skies, the sound of youth still alive, yeah. Back to 2015, we ran with no plan. Back to 2015, hearts in our hands, cold beer, blue lights. The band played through the night. Back to 2015. fades, but not the spark, like the start of who we are. Back to 2015, we ran with no plan. Back to 2015, hearts in our hands, cold beer, blue lights. The band played through the night. Back to 2015. Let's just stay locked away from light. Your eyes, soft like ocean tide. No one else, just you and I'll be okay by your side.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Chief Minister of Meghalaya, Dr. Conrad K. Sangma. Yeah, okay. Morning. I would like to invite Sri Sampat Kumar, Additional Chief Secretary, to the dais. I also like to invite the Director, Northeastern Indira Gandhi Regional Institute of Health and Medical Science, Dr. Nalin Mehta, to the dais. I'd like to also invite Director of Social Welfare, Camellia Doreen Lingwa, to the dais, and the Director of Health and Dr. Neelan, if you can kindly come to the dais. And MI, Madam, you can come to the dais, please. We also have with us Deputy Commissioner of East Castle, ma'am, if you can come to the dais. So good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to our Honorable Chief Minister, Dr. Conrad K. Sangma, other dignitaries on the dais, Additional Chief Secretary, Dr. Sampat Kumar. Sir, today we have officials from various government departments, health, social welfare, community and rural development, education, public health engineering, food and civil supply, agriculture department, Meghalaya State Rural Livelihood Society, Meghalaya Early Childhood Development Mission, NHM, other agencies. We have faith-based organization from all the different faiths, non-government organization. We have invited several headmans from urban and rural areas. We have our frontline workers, community-based organization, self-help group, village organization, cluster level federation, village health council. So we are also happy to inform you that we have officials joining from all the 12 district headquarters and the 56 block development office. At the cluster level, we have organized our team to mobilize all the community-based organization, either at the CLF office or at the Anganwadi Center to also live stream this event for the benefit of the community at large. This program today is also being screened live, and we have shared the link for all the people in the state, if they could attend this program to see the benefit and the importance of Mission 1000 Days. The first 1000 days of life, from conception to the age of 2 years, represents the most critical window of human development. It is during this period that a child's brain develops rapidly, physical growth accelerates, and the foundation for lifelong health, learning, and productivity is established. Scientific evidence has shown consistently that the care, nutrition, and environment a child receives during these early days have a profound impact, not just on individual outcomes, but on the future of communities and the nation. Today's launch is not just the unveiling of a program. It is a renewed commitment, a shared responsibility, and a call to action for all of us. Welcome, everyone. We will begin today's program by playing the state anthem, and I request all the participants to kindly rise. Thank you. Please be seated. When Honorable Chief Minister held a review on the 26th of March 2026, he gave a mandate to all the departments working on maternal and child health to launch Mission 1000 Days on a mission mode. All of us had requested time from Honorable Chief Minister because, as we all know, today is the 31st of March, the financial year closing. But he did not want to waste much time, and we wanted to start on a war footing from the 1st of April. The atmosphere and the determination of all the departments who are here today speaks volume of the commitment that we have towards this program. When we reach out to the faith-based organization, we were worried that they might not be able to attend this program. But I'm very happy to see that we have representation for most of the denomination that we have invited. Similarly, when we reach out to all the headmen, few headmen from urban and rural areas, we were again hesitant that headmen will not be able to attend this program, but we were surprised to see that all the headmen whom we have invited today have come for the program. Similarly, we have frontline workers, community-based organization. Everybody has come together for this program, which shows that everyone is really serious and committed towards maternal and child care in the state of Meghalaya. We had planned some facilitation, but we were told that Chief Minister wanted to make this program very specific for the cause, so we will not have any facilitation, sir, today. We have prepared this program in a way that we will outline the mission goals. We will have a very short technical session on Mission 1000 Days, and it's important, from a very renowned doctor, Dr. Rupal, who is here from IIT Mumbai, a pediatrician. And we will have the formal launch and recognition of some headmen on this program, followed by the distribution of mother and baby kits. To formally welcome everyone and set the context for today's program, it is my privilege to invite Sir Sambat Kumar, IAS, Additional Chief Secretary and Development Commissioner, Government of Meghalaya, to deliver the welcome address and set the context for today's program. Sir, may I request you to kindly address the gathering.
So, good morning to everyone, and I would like to extend warm greetings and welcome to our Honorable Chief Minister, Shri Konrad Sangmaji, and all the distinguished guests on the dais, my colleagues in the Health Department, Social Welfare Department, and also Dr. Nalin from NIGRIMS and Dr. Rupal from IIT Bombay, and all the distinguished invitees who have been representing different institutions, especially the faith-based institutions. May I request the faith-based institutions, whoever is there, just can they come in the front, and they can actually from basically as a token of respect, we would like to make you to sit in the front. So there's a and also the headmen, our traditional headmen, represented by the Sinjuk Rangbashnong, and the self-help group members, and most importantly the mothers who have come from Ganesh Das Hospital. Some of them, they are here. So and we and everyone. So today is a very important day, as Baron, my colleague, who is the Baronald, he's a Chief Operating Officer of Early Childhood Development Mission, who has told about the context why it is so important. So just like we have a presentation to make, but I think you can put up that one. So there is a, I think what is Mission 1000? We had before you came, we had a poll, and we have asked about 13 questions to the entire people who are participating, asked about what do they understand about the importance of Mission 1000. So one of the things that has come up is that really, I think even as adults we also have to learn a lot about it. So Mission 1000 is a mission which is being launched by the state government to unleash the full potential of every child. So this is a very, very important statement. Every child has an immense potential, and how do you unleash that potential? Basically, this first 1000 days are very, very critical. We all have learned through that poll. And just like to show you this, I think you must have seen this one, like 75 to 80% of the brain growth that happens by the time the child reaches 2 years of age. 2 years of age means 1000 days, because the child starts, like in mother's womb, 9 months. 9 months equal to 270 days. So that way, actually, it is about 1000 days it comes. So this is a very, very important. And by the time, I think one of the important fact, another question which was not asked, almost like the child will gain, almost 50% of the height. So you understand my point. So that's why there is a, as per the WHO standards, we can actually, by the time 1000 days, the child should reach around 95 centimeters or 3 feet height. So that's again just to give you how both are important. Both. So here, this is a very important thing which has for which we got in fact the professor got Nobel Prize. So if you look at it, the brain's ability to make changes in response to experiences is very high during the early childhood period. You can see the steep curve during the first up to 2 years. Steep curve. After that, it comes down. And to really improve it, you have to make extra effort at later point of a time. But during the first stage, your effort is very less. If you see the orange curve, the amount of effort to make such changes is very, very, less in the early childhood period. So that's where very important. So just I want to show you one more thing. The baby's brain forms over 1 million new neural connections per second in first 1000 days, first few years. So the ability, like imagine like 1 million neural connections per second. So that's the way the brain architecture forms very fast. So it's a very important. So the more time that you spend with the child will actually, the foundation will be really, really good. So then I just sorry to going back and forth. So here, so investment in early childhood has been shown results. There are studies have been done. If you really invest during the early childhood development period, there is a higher IQ, very good school performance. Their higher jobs, higher earnings means they get good jobs because they do well. And also there is a reduced delinquent behavior, whether they're getting into problems in any substance or use or anything, that will come down significantly because the children's foundation is really, really good. So we just want to tell you, we have, Honorable Chief Minister, in fact, has, brought this project like Early Childhood Development Mission, first of its kind, not only in India, but in the entire Asia Pacific region. Entire Asia Pacific region is a first of its kind project. This project is designed, in fact, with the help of, Harvard, that professors, we developed that entire idea. And then we started actually, doing like what is the status of, early childhood, various indicators. Basically, there are different indicators about early childhood period, how we are doing. So we did this study along with the Johns Hopkins University. This was done last year. The results have come last year, and this was presented before the cabinet retreat during the January month. And this is the kind of a sample size we wanted to show you, so that like across the regions, this study was done. Mothers were interviewed, children were covered, and anthropometry means like measured, like their height, weight, everything was measured, and these many Anganwadi centers randomly covered. So when we saw this, we got this first insight. When we saw this, in fact, children are not born stunted. Stunted means, this again, the height per age. I said like height per age. By the time the child reaches 1000 days, the child should have gained 95 centimeters or 3 feet. So, but whereas, if you see that curve, it's called bell curve. Bell curve means basically population. If you put a population, into like in one single line, you will find this kind of a curve at that part of age of a population. So while when they are born, it's not stunted, but they're getting stunted like -2, -3 standard deviation. They're going leftwards, moving leftwards. By the time slowly, after the birth. So that means there is a need, what is that we really wanted to understand this insight. Then we went to this one, this is something that's very important thing. We also found like, what are the reasons for?
Just go back
Yes.
one slide.
Yes.
Just increase the volume here. This is an important slide to understand. And this will actually give you the perspective of what we are doing out here. For those who understood, it's great, but I think most could not understand what this means. But as the curve, as this bell curve goes up, if you can see the light green one, this is like the months, right? So the blue part is when the child is born. So what Sampath is trying to say is that when they are born, most of them are actually not stunted or not having malnutrition aspect. It is through the years, through the months as it goes, we're shifting left, which means we are not, getting the results, or the child is not improving. In fact, if it goes right, then it's like improving. It's going above the average. So we're going below the average. We're going standard deviation minus, which means we are going worse as we go along. And you can see that in every single, the cultural or the communities the major communities we have, we are seeing this kind of a trend. In some, there are some cases which are less. So this is for stunting. Then there is a similar study done for others also. So what is, I think, the crux of this slide is to show you that, it is the habits and it is the different foods, the nutritions that ultimately leads to this kind of the curve going towards the left, which, as I said, is going below the average. So just wanted to share that.
Thank you, sir. So, the reasons, as our Honorable CM just mentioned, like what are the reasons? Let us look at the reasons. Again, based on the study, the questions were asked to each mother, and the answers have been drawn from them. If you look at it, there is a early initiation of breastfeeding is very important. You saw that in the poll, because the first milk, the early initiation is, within 1 hour, the mother's milk should be given to that's colostrum, that should be given to the child. That will have all the immunity. That's the first vaccine, tika, like I would say. First vaccine for mother is the first milk of the mother. First vaccine for the mother is the first milk of the mother, that too within 1.5 hours.
Vaccine for the child.
For the child.
You said mother.
Sorry, sir. For the child. For the child. Okay. So this is the first vaccine for the child. So if you look at it, the initiation is coming, if you look at all the Khasi, Jaintia, Garo region and the overall Meghalaya, 41.48. That means almost like close to 60% of the children are not getting within 1.5 years. Okay, so we need to improve this one. This is one. Number two, see the exclusive and effective breastfeeding, you call it, exclusive breastfeeding. In the first 6 months, the child should not take anything other than the mother's milk. First 6 months, exclusive breastfeeding. This is the very, very important, because mother's milk has protein, mother's milk has water, mother's milk has nutrients, everything. So mother's milk is so important. But what was happening, if you look at it, overall exclusive breastfeeding, as per the data, it is only 23.36. It's the latest data. So that means, like, again, this is we need to really improve this one. 100%, actually, it has to be 100%. Every child should get exclusive breastfeeding. They should not be given lactogen in between. They should not be given rice water. They should not be given sugar water. They should not be given anything during that time. It's dangerous. It can cause sepsis. It can cause a lot of problems, diarrhea. It can cause neonatal mortality. But it has to be given there. So this is something very important thing that has come up through the study. The other thing, other important thing, you also can see this one. Minimum dietary diversity. This is again just what our Honorable CM was mentioning. After 6 months, again, you also did the poll. After 6 months, you have to give complementary feeding plus breastfeeding. Both put together should go along for till 1,000 days, till 2 to 3 years of child's age. So here, what kind of 8 important food groups, if you look at it, for the child during that first 2 years or first 1,000 days, is breastfeeding. Again, they also have to get diversity, grains, root, tubers, lentils, seeds, nuts, dairy products, meat, fish, chicken, eggs, vitamin A rich foods, that means some green leafy vegetables, other fruits and vegetables. This kind of a diverse food is very, very important. It's called minimum dietary diversity. That also has been tested. If you look at it, what is the thing? Overall, it's only 16%. Only 16% children are given diet diversity. Otherwise, mostly they are given rice, potato, and rice. Again, rice-based rice. We are not actually giving the the diet diversity. That's something that has come up very clearly. And the another important thing you must see, this is again another region. Unhealthy junk food, consumption between especially from 6 months to 23 months. That means after 6 months, children are given lot of junk food. If you look at the junk food, almost like more than 50% of the children are, the mother said like they have given noodles.
It's because it's very simple. So just go back. So what happens is, we start giving chips to the children because they like to eat chips. So the baby starts eating chips. Baby starts having, juice, some kind of fruity juice or some kind of a mango juice because, Tetra Pak stuff because the baby loves it. We start giving them chocolates because they love that. And not realizing that we're making them happy for that moment, but actually it's having the biggest negative impact on their lives that you could imagine. And these are small awareness things which we want everybody to be part of, our faith organizations, our Rangbashnongs, our different NGOs. We all need to create this basic awareness about simple things like breastfeeding to 6 months, like ensuring that unhealthy junk food is not given to children, at least to a certain age point in time. And we do it unknowingly, or we do it because we really not bothered, I wouldn't say that, but we don't want to take the headache and we just want to see the child happy, and so we think we're making them happy. So I think this is a very important, again, slide. And of course, why we are here is because the left-hand side where you see that 17, 5, 17, 16, this is the minimum dietary diversity which is required. And we understand that economically there are many houses that are backward and hence they cannot afford this. But that is where government will come in. So that is what this 1000 program is about. We are here to exactly help. I'm not saying we can do everything, but if we all put our heads and hearts together, something we can do. So what we can do, obviously government will fund a majority of this, but we need support from local people, we need support from villages. There are so much of dietary stuff which is right there available in our backyards, in the vegetables that we grow, in the food that are there at home, in the villages, which we don't even know is actually having the nutrients that we may not taste very good, but it's very high in the nutrients. So what are those products? We need to identify them. We need to share them. We need to inform the families and the kids and the mothers and the fathers also. I want to say this. We're just discussing with DC that the fathers have to take equal responsibility. A lot of times we find the fathers are not. So we need to push this aspect that the responsibility is with the fathers also. And so both parents have to take interest in this. And this is really what we're trying to do. It's an awareness program plus a program where we want to bring everybody together. Plus we want to show you that government is going to support this. And we'll show you some part of what we're going to do, because we also are going to learn as we go along, because whatever we do may not work 100%. So we will keep trying and testing, but the objective is the same. The methods and the mechanism of solving those problems may change as we go along, but we are here to try. We have done a bit of homework, so we are quite sure we're in the right track. But I think this is a very important slide to remember, and we will of course have more training programs about that in the future.
I just want to add one thing what our Honorable Chief Minister has said. I think, this is, unless we know the problem, we can actually solve the problem. So we need to really understand that there is a problem, and then everyone should collectively work on that. In fact, if you recollect, the maternal, deaths used to be very high. Now it has come down over 50%, because we realized that was a problem. We need to resolve it. So when everyone started working on that, now things are actually improving. So this is also another second important challenge for the state, that we need to reduce the stunting, and we need to really, unleash the full potential of every child. So that's why this is a very important thing. Just like before I'll conclude, I'll tell you, see this last sentence. Overall, 50% of the parents responded, junk foods is given to the children. So this is again a very important thing. You will find everything like, noodles to chips to fried things. At that age, actually they should be given diet diversity, so that their taste buds would develop. So that in fact when they grow up, they actually will be very, very healthy. So very, very important to start these practices very early. So the second insight that has come, which is also very important here. In fact, this is again first we talked about nutrition, okay? How actually the nutrition includes, how actually we are providing, proper care to the child during the first 1000 days. The second important insights what we got about early stimulation practices. In fact, this also we learned through the poll, through the poll, you also have, a lot of people have given a very good response. So it is about, we asked, during the questionnaire is that we asked all the mothers, how many mothers are actually singing lullabies, playing with the children, telling stories, these three things, these questions were asked, okay? And you see the data. I don't want to show, just see the data. If there is anything, green means they are doing well. Yellow means sometimes they do. Like otherwise, green is every day, very often they are doing. Red means never, okay? So this is again a good practices. You can see in Jayantia Hill some good practices. We can see more green. We can see. Then we went to the, then we went to the next slide. How that input has an output. That result. You see the result here. So if you see the result here, again the children, in the same families, we also looked at the children's, there is a test, we did a test called IDILA. It is an international development test. And that, what is their, skills, fine, in terms of their fine motor skills, and their emergent literacy skills, emergent numeracy skills, how they're actually, numeracy means maths, okay, and socio-emotional skills, socio-emotional, what is good, what is bad, all the executive functional skills, everything. If you look at it, again, if you look at it only in Jayantia Hills, it is 40% of the children are actually having higher score than the, it's basically, that's where the score is showing. So what I wanted to say is that if you, this again I'm going back, if you invest, on children, especially playing with the children, because children learn through play. Second, the brain development equal to adult interactions. More the adults interact with the children, more brain development happens.
Just go back
Especially
to 2-3 slides. Just go back. More. One more. Yeah, this one. So if you see the thing at the bottom, it says the baby's brain forms over 1 million new neuron connections per second in the first few years of life. What does it mean? I mean, I think some of you know, some of you don't know. A giraffe, a baby giraffe when it's born, it immediately starts walking. It doesn't even take, an hour, and it's already started walking. Whereas human beings, we take 1.5 years on an average plus minus to start walking. Why? Because our brain is not connected and our neurons are not connected. The point is that this is how the greatness of human brain, I guess, whatever you call it, is that it's open for anybody to connect it. So what Sampath is trying to say is that it's very simple, that when you sing songs, sing lullabies, you interact with the child, you play with the child, these neurons are getting connected. The more you interact, the more you play, the more games that are going on, the brain is developing faster. So it's simple things. So really what we're trying to tell you here is that it's not rocket science that we need to do, really. It's just basic, simple things that we need to do, but we need to do it consistently, we need to do it at a large scale, and we need to get a complete society to be involved in this so that it becomes a culture and a habit among us that this kind of thing must happen. So that's what we're really trying to achieve, and this is very important to understand that small things like these make a big difference.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So this is what, that's why this is the foundation. This is called Mission 1000. So in fact, I just want to share one personal story of, like when we gave this, when we have shown these results to the, to the Chief Minister and the Cabinet in the month of January. In fact, the day one, next day our Honorable CM came and he said like he couldn't sleep the whole night, by seeing those things. What should we do? What can we do? I think that has resulted into, he asked us to design a program that actually really will solve this problem, in the next 1,000 days. So that's why this is whole of a, government, whole of a society efforts are required, because as you've seen, a lot of behaviors are required at home, at a community level, at every level. So it requires everyone's collaborative efforts. It requires a collaborative governance to really achieve this mission 1,000 days. So one of the very ambitious target, this is, we wanted to do is that today we are the, in the country, we are the high, in terms of stunting, we are the highest in the country. We wanted to become the lowest in the country in the next 1,000 days. So that's our goal. I hope you all actually are with us. I think if you are, if you really just that's the kind of a goal. That's a particular thing. So how these basically, I just first pregnancy, 1,000 days, I said pregnancy 270 days. In this 270 days, mother's nutrition is very important. Not only mother's nutrition is important, one more thing, that during the pregnancy, mother should be taken care of so well. There should not be any stress to mother. There should not be any altercations. There is no quarrel between husband and wife. It's not good. Child will get disturbed. Seriously, this is the research says. So we need to really have to take care of properly the children. And also that's why early childhood period is also important for family bonding. And so it's very important. And fathers also release oxytocin when they play with the children. Oxytocin is a happy hormone. So there is a fathers, not only mothers release oxytocin while giving breastfeeding and everything, but fathers actually, even they play with the children, they also, oxytocin is released. That is, happy hormones are released. So father's participation is also equally important. And the child up to 1 year, it has 6 months, exclusive and effective breastfeeding 6 months, and complementary feeding starts from 6 months onwards, along with the breastfeeding. And then from 1 to 2 years, actually, we also have to really prioritize this entire early stimulation. So that's the idea. So in fact, this Mission 1000 has, as our Honorable CM has said, it has 5 pillars, these 5 pillars. One pillar is building the frontline capacity to understand this. Everyone should know that how to, teach, how to actually provide guidance to all the parents, especially pregnant mothers, about breastfeeding and complementary feeding, so that they do it well. Because through breastfeeding, every day, child can gain 40 grams weight. It's a very important thing. So if it is not done well, you will not actually gain that weight. So it's again, Dr. Rupal will actually explain later through other slides. Then the second pillar, this first pillar we have already completed in the last 6 months, 6 to 7 months. IIT Bombay team has come and they have trained 750 master trainers across the state. At least one person from every health facility. And they are going to train all the frontline functionaries in the coming months. And through frontline functionaries, every mother in the state, almost 1,20,000 mothers every year would be covered through this program. So these all 1,20,000 mothers would be provided skills, workshop, nutrition, and early stimulation. So and these workshops will be conducted, and by following on the lines of famous Brazil's, famous Bolsa Familia. Some of the development experts know Bolsa Familia, conditional cash transfer. Like that, we'll also, once they did, we also, in fact, our Chief Minister, Honorable Chief Minister, is going to announce this one, provide support to every pregnant mother who actually, really participated in these workshops and started actually practicing these best practices, so that they'll become a role models in their communities. So that's another important second work. Third one, nutritional guidance given by the village health councils and village organizations by cooking food, going to the houses and cooking that different varieties of food, categories of food, making the food and teaching, demonstrating the diet diversity. And the fourth one, of course, this is again, as our Honorable CM is going to announce it, every twice a week in Anganwadi Center, hot cooked meal with eggs would be provided to all the pregnant and lactating mothers in the state from this next month. So this is already, the finalized. We have given orders also for getting this egg procurement. So 2 eggs, basically, 2 days with egg, hot cooked meal given to all the pregnant and lactating mothers and children below 3 years, 6 months to. So this is again this is a huge support. In fact, this support is going to really change a lot of because this also gives a session 8 times. They'll come to the Anganwadi center in a month. 8 sessions we can take for nutrition and early stimulation training can be given through Anganwadi workers and Ashas and other frontline functionaries. And we are also saying that at least once in a month, fathers have to come to the Anganwadi center along with the babies, because fathers also need to be given training. This is very important. That's why we requested Rangbashnang's support here. That's why Chief Minister's Headman Fellowship through Rangbashnang is going to actually play a very important role on this. And then the rescue. Despite all this, if some children are not having problem, there is a growth faltering, they're not actually getting the gain, then a special support would be provided through this mission, whatever it takes. In fact, there is a community-based nutrition program is there, IEPH is doing. So there is a lot of recipes are required, or some additional protein is required, additional food is required. That will be provided to those families where actually the growth faltering is happening. And every mother and every child would be tracked like a mother app. We used to have a mother app like that. Now we have a child app. It's called QDwell app. It's already developed by the IT Bombay, alumnus. We are using that one already. That's QDwell app. And this is the way actually this entire whole of government, whole of society approach will take place, involving the traditional headmen, involving the mother skills workshops, and counseling, regular counseling at Anganwadi centers. And then this already, as I said, 750 master trainers have been identified out of 19,000 frontline functionaries. Everyone has given test. They have to give 2 tests. In fact, I have given 1 test along with everybody. So we have to give tests, and then based on the tests, actually the master trainers have been identified. And then we are going to, this is the kind of including pregnant mothers and children put together, this is the kind of a number of people that need to be adopted every year. So this is at one Anganwadi center. In fact, this is again keeping every child on track to see that how children are playing, you see. So it's like there's such a happiness. In fact, the child doesn't want to leave. So if you look at it, there's a how actually different levels, pregnancy time, ANM and CGHA play a very important role in terms of making sure that there is a proper birth to 48 hours at the facility level. Staff nurse has to take a lot of responsibility. 48 hours to 6 months, Ashas have to take main responsibility. Not that others have to take, others also will take responsibility. And 6 months to 24 months, Anganwadi workers would take a very important responsibility. There is a learning action protocol is issued, and this is every time, every visit, they monitor, they whether the child is growing and whether child is actually require any additional support. Everything will be tracked. So with this, we, as I said, in fact, this is again only in India. This I shared before the Honorable Prime Minister in the month of December. This presentation, this particular slide. It's the only state which is bringing everyone together. It's like a collaborative governance model with the State Human Development Council, and under that, this special purpose vehicle like Early Childhood Development Mission has been created with all the departments working together. And there is a district level human development teams headed by the DCs, block level headed by the BDOs, at the village level headed by the headmen. So everyone is involved here. So this is something that and the the at home, at Anganwadi center, ECD center level, at community level, the whole of collaborative efforts are going to be done. So this is our briefly about the Mission 1000. Thank you very much, and thank you, sir, for your explanation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for this presentation. I feel privileged to have had the opportunity to be part of this mission, because when Sir Sampath, introduced me to ECD, I had just become a father. My son was a year and a half old. And what Honorable Chief Minister was saying, so I was the one who actually always buy chocolate for my son, because I wanted him to love me more than, because he was quite attached to his mother. So I would buy chocolate. And then when I learned about this mission, and then sugar should not be given to a child, at least for the first 2 years. It took a while for me to again, for my son to actually not have that craving for sugar. So it's very simple. If you look at the presentation, it's very simple, but it is something that a lot of people actually take for granted, or a lot of people are not aware. So it's a very important presentation, and I hope it has been useful to everyone as much as it was useful to me, and I hope even for everybody who's watching the the live streaming, if and we have kept a QR code in some of the banners and even in the flyers. So if you want more information, you can actually just scan the code. You will get more information on this critical period of 1,000 days. So I thank Sir Sampath once again for that presentation. And moving forward, I would like now to invite Dr. Rupal Dalal. She's an MD, a pediatrician. She will be giving a presentation on the monitoring framework on how actually we're going to do this on ground. So Sir Sampath has set the context and the overview, but the practical implementation of monitoring each and every child, that will be given through Dr. Rupal. So the stage is yours, Dr. Rupal.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank Honorable Chief Minister and Sampathji for having that trust in IIT Bombay pedagogy on reducing stunting. Our focus is not just reducing stunting. There is another problem which is really kind of cooking in Meghalaya, is metabolic disorders. Young children, as per CNN's report, are having diabetes and pre-diabetes starting from 5 years of age. So we'll focus on that also. But at this point, stunting is an emergency because, as Sampathji said, Meghalaya has the highest stunting in India. Almost 47% children are stunted by 5 years of age. So let's see how we are going to do this project in the field. Today my presentation is basically mentoring and monitoring every mother and baby in the first 1,000 days. Okay, so at IIT Bombay, we have created something called Health Spoken Tutorial. This Health Spoken Tutorial are 10 minutes animated and some live tutorials on different topics of nutrition. It starts with basically adolescent, pregnant mothers, lactating mothers, breastfeeding skills, complementary feeding, and in general any age group children, including adolescent of course. They are created in about 15 constitutional languages of India. So we have tutorials in all the languages you can think of. We also created these languages in tribal languages. So we have translated them in tribal languages. So we have it in Khasi and Garo also. Our mission is to reduce stunting, especially in Meghalaya, among children by capacity building of human resource of Meghalaya state with intense mentoring and monitoring in the field. And we are using a lot of technology, and I'll talk about the technology also. So this is NFHS 5 data. What Sampathji mentioned was basically, latest of course, but this is the NFHS 5 data basically come from Central Ministry. So here it's a very important slide for you to understand. A lot of numbers, but I have circled numbers which are important, okay? So let's look at not breastfeeding. You know, the first column age in month, then you have not breastfeeding. By 18 to 23 months of age, 43% children are not breastfeeding at all. Now, why breastfeeding is important? Because breast milk has something called omega-3 fatty acids. Okay, so you must be knowing that, we always recommend that mothers should have fish, adolescents should have fish, seniors everybody should have fish. Why? Because fish has something called DHA EPA. Okay, now this DHA EPA is predominantly there in your fish oil, seafood. But even if the mother is vegetarian, that mother will also have good amount of omega-3 fatty acid, which is DHA EPA, in her milk. Nature is just amazing that, how it is protecting, and that DHAPA is very important for myelination of the nerves. So sir was mentioning about, a neural connection, but that nerve has something called myelin sheet, okay? That myelin sheet requires cholesterol, it requires DHAPA. Okay, so children who are breastfed has a higher IQ than children who are on other animal milk or formula milk. Okay, so here if you have 43% children, another thing which breast milk has, it has this infection fighting cells. It's just amazing if you read the book for breastfeeding for doctors. It's a 1,000-page book, and it is all about what all things that breast milk has. So it has so many other components. It is absolutely complete food for the child. So if you're 43%, only 43%, or I would say 47% children are having some amount of breast milk, that's not good for the immunity, and also not good for the brain. Okay, now let's look at the second column. Second column says exclusively breastfed. So here, look at the time between 0 to 2 months of age, you have almost 63% children who are having breast milk. Okay, exclusively breast milk. But look at what happens once child is around 6 months. Okay, so that around 6 months, I would say 4 to 5 months, look at the drop. Drop is to only 24%, and it goes down to 10.9%. So that's a significant drop. This is called breastfeeding failure. Breastfeeding failure means mother has started, at least 60% of them had started, but it dropped. Okay, and that's where we come in. We basically skilled healthcare workers on how to effectively help mothers to have a milk transfer. So mother is producing milk, but it's not getting transferred to the baby. So when it doesn't get transferred to the baby do not gain weight. And then when they do not gain weight, over a period of time, they lose height. And with that, they also lose cognition. Okay, so that's what. And the last column, look at the complementary foods. Okay, so under 2 months of age, 4.1% children are already started in complementary feeding. Now there was this one study which was done by AIMS, where they were seeing a lot of perforation in young babies. So they did case studies, and they found that these babies were started on rice very early on, under 2 months of age. So that's where you're seeing 2 to 3 months of age, complementary food, 21% children are started. By 2 to 3 months of age, they're starting on foods. Remember, the exclusive breastfeeding should be minimum 6 months. And by 4 to 5 months, 35%. So 1/3 of your children are started on complementary feeding by 4 to 5 months of age. That's critical. Okay. Now let's look at another data, height for age, which is stunting. Okay. So let's see what happens to the stunting. Now I want you to look at the second column. Percentage below -2 standard deviation. Okay, that's where your definition of stunting starts, on standard deviation. Okay, so here look at 18 to 23 months of age, 58.8% children are stunted. Almost 60% children, if they are stunted by 18 to 23 months. Now stunting is not something which is acute. Stunting is something which has gone on for a long period of time. Over 6 months to 12 months to 15 months, when children are not getting adequate enough food. Now obviously under 6 months is only breast milk. So these children are not getting enough breast milk. They're not getting enough food under 6 months. And after 6 months of age, they're getting food, but it's not helping with their height. Okay, so they are getting something which is helping them to put on weight, and I'll show you how. You can see it over there also. So again, you can see 18 to 23 months, 50, which is one of the highest country. Now look at the weight for height. Now weight for height is basically SAM-MAM. So a lot of people over here, they would know what is severe acute malnutrition, moderate acute malnutrition. I want to focus on severe acute malnutrition, because these children are at risk of developing high mortality. The children are kind of risk of dying. So look at less than 6 months of age, your SAM, which is your weight for height. So the second circle over there, in that column, weight for height. SAM children under 6 months highest. So 8% children are SAM already. Means they are born tall, but they are not putting on weight. Okay, so now they are becoming thin. Poor children are not getting enough milk, so they're getting thin. And that's why you have a highest SAM in under 6 months of age. All the NRCs, must know how to help mothers with breastfeeding, because if they focus on the skill of breastfeeding, the children will start putting on weight right away, and I'll show you some of the graphs. Now look at the last circle over there, weight for age. Do you see weight for age over there on the right side? 32%. So what I'm saying is, at 18 to 23 months of age, our children are stunted already. 60% children are stunted. But stunted children should also be on a low for weight, right? Because small children, short children are low on weight, tall children are good on a weight, okay? But problem is, now you have only 32% children who are weight for age, underweight. What happened to those other 30% children? Okay, that means these children are putting on weight, but not putting on height. So they are putting on fat. They're eating food which are not helping with their height. This is detrimental, because this is now the results are showing up in CNNS data, which is your government Ministry of Health data, where almost 8% children are already diabetic at 5 years of age. These children are at risk of developing heart disease, diabetes, NFLD, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, autoimmune conditions, and all of the different conditions, and metabolic, even cancers at very young age. Okay, so this is, again, we want to make sure the children eat healthy food. Okay, now some person mentioned that it is a whole, we've been working on this project for almost 1 year now. Okay, initially we shared some tutorials, then we took some tests, we shared some more tutorials to all the 19,000 healthcare workers. They took another exam. Now, okay, you watch some tutorial, you have some content in your head, but are you able to basically pass on that knowledge practically on the teaching the skills to the mother? Okay, so what we did face-to-face training. Now this face-to-face training we did for not just 750 Sampaji, we did it for 786 people. So eventually, after calculating JOA, it's basically almost 786 healthcare workers we train. So you can see that, we train staff nurses, we train all healthcare workers, one healthcare workers per health and wellness center. Okay, now one thing is they watched tutorials, they came to our face-to-face training, we trained them on some workshop. Now the next step is, now all these 786 people have to now monitor or apply the skill on mother-baby diet. Okay, so the point is, I will not call them master trainers unless they master the skill, because if they have not mastered the skill, they will not be able to train others. Okay, so that is one step before we take it up, full blown to the whole state. So here they had to adopt 2 ANC mothers, 2 newborn babies, and 2 babies who are between 6 to 8 months of age, to understand how complementary feeding is given to these children. Okay, so here what was our focus? Our focus was in this training of face-to-face training. Actually, I've been here since January. I'll be here till end of April, and we focus. I have a whole team with me. Dr. Devji, Dr. Dipali, Sheetal. When we have a huge team of health spoken tutorial team, we have data analytics. We have the huge team. There's a huge team behind us. I'm just a face. We focused on correct technique of breastfeeding. What we found, and we have published this data from previous districts that we worked in Madhya Pradesh and also other districts, and what we found, that if mothers were taught this cross-cradle hold, of course they learn other holds also, but this particularly cross-cradle hold with some 45 counseling points, if it is taught properly to mothers, babies are gaining amazing weight, and I'll show you some case studies. We also taught healthcare workers, if the baby is not gaining weight, that means the milk transfer is not happening from mother to the baby. Now what happens when the milk transfer doesn't happen? Eventually, nature feels that baby does not need enough food, and that milk will dry up. So many times in the field, mother says, I don't have enough milk. She's right. She doesn't have enough milk. Why? Because milk is now drying up. So we want to stop that right away. As soon as baby is born, we want to teach that right skill. The third thing we focused on, basically ANC nutrition. One thing, what I experienced, that the data which is coming up right now, most of the babies are born pretty good size. So not only their length is good, but their weight is also very good. And this is, I'm surprised that these babies are bigger than American and European babies. Okay, they're tall, they're taller than American babies. I am trained in US and I work in US 3 months a year. Okay, I've worked there for 20 years, in fact even more than that. So what I see in US, similar kind of babies, pretty much that I've seen in all the district hospital, those babies are bigger than American, and I must kind of congratulate you that pregnant mothers are probably eating right kind of food. One thing I need to make sure, the body composition of the baby. We want baby to be big, but we want mothers to have more protein, and then those babies, if they're big, I'm absolutely happy. But if mother is eating food which is increasing fat composition in the mother, okay, so that babies are not healthy. So I think that is critical, that what food that mothers are eating is critical. They also learn about homemade powders. You know, Nestle, I would call it Cerelac, is so rampant over here. Cerelac is nothing but ultra processed food. Basically it has rice powder, it has sugar, and it has a lot of chemicals. So all the babies who are being adopted at 6 months of age, pretty much all of them are on Cerelac. So we want to definitely kind of reduce or stop that Cerelac, and we have taught how to make homemade powders which they can add in children's food. Then we also teach them WHO growth chart. What we have done, we have increased the target of weight gain. So the target of weight gain is as per WHO growth charts. There are a lot of misconception in the field, including with the doctors, that they feel that 2.5 kg baby born is normal. That's not normal. That's third percentile already. Then there are another myth that 500 gram weight gain per month is normal. That's another it's not norm. Okay, so and the last thing that they learn is learning action protocol. So what we have done at IIT Bombay, we have created protocols. So if healthcare worker follow these babies as per that protocol and take action in every visit, those baby will definitely gain weight. Okay, so let's look at some of the pictures that we had taken when we had taken all the learners to hospitals, and this are all the learners. They have done amazing. Here they learn the portion size. All of them have become dietitian, I must tell you, nutritionists. They can calculate your protein, they can calculate your carbohydrate, they will basically design your diet, that how you should have higher amount of protein, good quality protein. They also train on diet score. So we have really, this is that they get an ISIC kit. Here you can see all these healthcare workers, here I'm training on the mother. Basically we do bedside clinics also. On the left side you can see mothers, learners are learning on the breast model and doll, and then they practice on the mothers. Here we have created ISIC kit also, so they are basically learning on each other how to counsel. Here again with Sampaji, he had attended one of our session. These are the healthcare workers who have already got stars. Now, coming from IIT Bombay, we always kind of give marks whether how that healthcare worker is done in each case. So they get stars. 5 stars is the highest star. No star is a 0 star. So here, these are the learners who have already gotten 4 to 5 stars, which I really, and I still am working on it. My goal is that every healthcare worker should have at least 5 stars, 4 to 5 stars in 6 cases. So that's really good. Now this is first master trainer. She's, I am so proud of her. This girl, Jeeta Nursery, she's from West Garo Hill. She has shown impact in almost all of her adopted babies. She's a staff nurse, but she's going out of her way to learn and to help mothers and newborn babies, and also she is basically from Salsala PHC, and I have already she's a certified master trainer by IIT Bombay now. Okay, that's her. Now this is the basically Jismi. Jismi is basically from North Garo Hills. She's a staff nurse from Magyasi Primary Healthcare Center. So what they have to do certain action. So what she has done, she has worked on mother's protein, she has worked on growth monitoring visit, she has helped mother with the check breastfeeding form, and here is a baby. This baby was born 2.4 kg. This is the baby that she had adopted, and this baby is basically on February 19th, the date of birth, and you can see the birth weight is 2.4, and March 4th weight is 3.3. Now what happens that when these babies are discharged from the hospital, who takes care of the baby? Asha. Now, unfortunately, Sampaji, my only issue with this, Asha don't have any measuring device. So they are not measuring length, so I'm not able to make out the length, but I don't care for length at this point. My point if baby is gaining weight, that baby will gain length eventually. Okay, so I think that too I would, but look at, this is the growth chart of the baby. This baby was born. Now this is the WHO growth chart. Do you see the middle line, green line? That's your 50th percentile. Means 50% of our children of the world, not just India, should be on that green line. Okay, now this baby was born small, so you can see baby was born less than third percentile. Last line is a third percentile, means only 3% children are below this line. Okay, and the orange line just above that, above that red line is your 15th percentile. Similarly, on the top, you want to see that the top red line is the 97th percentile. 97th percentile means only 3% children are above that line. Okay, 97% are below that line in the whole world. And believe me, in US also we use the same growth chart. For till 3 years of age, US, Europe, India, pretty much all the countries except probably China, we're using the same growth chart. Okay, so again, when I see sometime growth charts, I say, wow, Meghalaya is doing much better than pretty much the whole country when the child is born. Okay, so here you can see she has done exactly the visits that we had mentioned. She has done 9 visits in first 2 weeks, and you can see just in the matter of, I would say, 10, 12, this is a 12 day or 13 days. Look at where child is in 13 days of age. See how critical this age is, right, to gain weight. Now this is another case, Vinnie Sangma. She is from East Garo Hill, again a staff nurse from Rongrong PHC. Again, amazing work that she's doing, beautiful. She's following these babies in the, in the field. Birth weight was 3.35 kg. Look at the height, 53.5 kg. Centimeter is a pretty tall baby. I've not seen in US also. In US we see 51, 52 centimeter. 53 means it's amazing. And the way I call it with conviction, this is true, because I will not give star unless I see whether she has taken length properly or not. If she's not taken length properly, I will reject it. I will ask her 2-3 times and then she'll get only 1 star. So here I know that she's done it correctly. So here you can see, look at this baby was born little bit above 50th percentile, but again, in just few weeks, I can see that baby is going up. Now here what is happening, if you look at from 2nd week to 6th week, there is little bit of faltering occurring. Not much, little bit of faltering occurring. So again, I will reach out to her and say, why baby is not gaining? Why baby is coming down? Right? So our goal is to bring those babies on breast milk to as tall as possible or as big as possible, because these children, when they are grown very well on mother's milk, they will not have diabetes and blood pressure, provided they have good nutrition after 6 months of age. Okay, so they'll be protected from lot of conditions. Okay, this is another one, Dikimichi. This is from South Garo Hill. Very tough terrain. I've been to South Garo. I stayed there. Now, Bagmara, I was staying in Bagmara for 2 days, and I approached one of the, kind of shop, and he said one of the fastest selling commodity in Bagmara is lactogen, like baby formula. And I said, who buys? Because I saw so much of poverty over there, like very poor people. And he said, oh yeah, that's laborers buy, because they spend 500 rupees a week to spend money on. So he said it's the hottest selling product. So here in this, all our healthcare workers are working very hard. So she is basically, here you have a 3.9 kg. Look at the birth weight, 4 kg baby. Wow, that's like, generally we see that in US, we see in African American babies are 4 to 4.5 kgs. It's big babies, and height is also 52 centimeter. And here, this is the growth chart. Okay, look at this baby is born pretty tall, but we are not allowing this baby to fall. Okay, look at this, 97. You have only 1% children in the world who are that big. If this continues on a breast milk, this baby is going to be 6 feet, maybe 6 feet 3 inches, 6 feet 5 inches. Okay. Now, this is another one. You have Southwest Garo Hills. Christina, this is Asha facilitator. Okay. Now, again, birth weight is about 2.8 kg. Do you know what is the average birth weight in India? Does anybody know what is the average birth weight in India? 2.7 kg. That's the average birth weight in India. Okay. So I think we are doing much better. Okay, here you have, look at this, baby was born 15th percentile, and in the matter of just 6-7 weeks, you can see how baby is going up. And this kind of length, weight gain occurs pretty much only in first 2-3 months. You will not see this kind of weight gain after 3 months, 4 months, okay? So we want to do that on mother's milk. Okay, this is East Khasi Hill, Banisha Nongklo, again staff nurse, Pomlum Primary Healthcare Center. Brilliant, brilliant. You can see that just in literally in matter of few weeks, 4-5 weeks, babies are going up. Again, this is Southwest Khasi Hill, Anganwadi worker. Now, you know, the skills, these are life skills. Everybody and anybody should learn this, everyone I should say. And here you can see, look at this. Now I want to teach you a little bit on this growth chart. This baby was adopted at the time 3 weeks of age. So what happens from birth to 3 weeks? Look at the growth chart. What happens to 0 to 3 weeks? No weight gain. When you don't have weight gain, that means this baby is going hungry every day. Okay, and then baby goes hungry, what will affect? It will basically, the growth, physical growth will get affected, cognition, brain will get affected, okay? But as soon as basically this Anganwadi worker takes care of this baby, you can see immediate weight gain in the baby. Okay, here, you know, this is, I showed it to some person and say, you must basically present us. This is Tasri Marak. She's a staff nurse from Southwest Khasi Hill. When she had adopted mothers, she realized that mothers could not afford eggs. So she literally brought eggs and some vegetables to both the mothers. So not only she's teaching, and she has this kit on her right hand side, and that kit is IC kit. And I always carry my IC kit. I have it with me. You never know when I may need to help mothers. And I have a lot of mothers who also I'll help them to learn the proper technique. But that's so kind of Tasri to take this step. You know, this is from West Khasi Hill, Maureen Mauri, again staff nurses. I yet need to see this kind of result from ICDS. I still need to yet to see this result from MLHP CH. So I request everybody to basically cooperate. But here again, you can see how children are growing beautifully, you know. We want children to go up, not down, okay? Now what happens if the mothers are not supported for breastfeeding skills or even complementary feeding skill? Today I'll focus more on breastfeeding skills. So if mothers are not supported, so here is you have a baby. Baby basically was born about 2.2 kg, and this baby was picked up at around 4 weeks of age. Look what happens in 4 weeks of age. There is no weight gain, hardly any weight gain. And you can see the severe growth faltering occurring just in a matter of few weeks. We want to avoid it as much. This is another child. Child was born at 2.5 kg. Again, hardly any weight gain at 4 weeks of age. This child was born 4 kg. Imagine, mother had worked really hard during ANC, but because mother was not supported, and here healthcare worker is not unfortunately following the baby as per LAP protocol. They're doing weekly visits. Weekly visits are not enough. You know, mother needs to be taught within at least 8 to 9 visits in first 2 weeks of age. So because the protocol is not followed, skills are not probably transferred, you can see severe faltering occurring in just matter of few weeks. Okay, here again you can see this is a 3-week-old baby, no weight gain. For 3 weeks, the baby is not gaining weight. Look at this, how fast they grow, how fast they fall. They grow also very fast, they fall also very fast. So it's that steep up and down. Okay. So here how we are using the QDOL application, because one thing is that, you know, we may have 2 or 3 mothers or 10 mothers or 100 mothers. When we want to basically monitor each and every mother, each and every baby, whether the child is faltering or not, where exactly is the, you know, how the child should grow. So they use this very sophisticated application. We've made it kind of very simple, but you know, healthcare workers are actually loving it, people who got used to it. And here this is how they are monitoring, you know, you see those red, on the left side, you can see red, green, yellow. This is telling them whether the child is underweight, whether the child is stunted, whether the child is Sam ma'am, you know, and then they do accordingly, they do visits. So these visits are very dynamic. It depends on how child is doing. And just right next to it, you see the photograph of the weight. So when they check the photograph, the weight which is there on the digital weighing scale, it immediately gets picked up by the technology. Okay, so here we know that, okay, this weight is whatever is there, it's true weight, it's not the fake data. Okay, and here again, whenever they do this this kind of action, when they fill out the protein form, when they fill out the breastfeeding form, when they fill out the complementary feeding form, some of these tutorials, they go to mother's WhatsApp. So mother can watch it at home, they can, healthcare workers can also watch it. So this is how basically we mentor mothers through healthcare workers. Now, we have created a lot of dashboards, because one thing is the healthcare worker is monitoring. We are monitoring from IIT Bombay side, our whole team we have a calling team, so we keep calling. Another thing we want is block level monitoring. We want BMOs, BPMs, CDPOs, all those them, they need to monitor how their healthcare workers, how their learners are doing. Okay, so we have created, then we want district level monitoring. We want every DC to know how each and every child is doing. Okay, and that district level monitoring is also very critical. We want DPOs and DPMs to get involved, and the state level monitoring, because state level also need to know which district is doing good. Okay, and we want to know which district has highest faltering, which district has highest SAM, which district have highest, all that we want to know. So we have a state level this thing also. I won't go too much, but just talking about, this is case level monitoring. So here you can see this one particular child, you can see weight is MUW, Bachu is SAM, faltering is right now okay, so SAM is not faltering, but weight for height is low. So again, we will look at when was the last time that visit was done to the baby. So in the first case, you can see that last visit was done 2 days ago. In the second case, this child is SAM, and the last visit was done on 39 days ago. That's critical. You don't want to wait for SAM Bachu to wait, to do some visits. Okay, so this is how we do monitoring. And this is again the dashboard, looking at how learners are performing, how many cases they have adopted and all that. So eventually what I feel is we all should come together. Okay, academic institutes, government people, government state nodals, district nodals, headmans, everybody, all of us, we all can basically help mothers and their families, So our budding generation, because this budding generation is our generation, we want our generation to be intelligent, to be tall, to do well in life, and they can achieve full potential, and that will basically help them to grow physically and cognitively. And one person, one Sampath sir or one ECD mission will not be able to do this. We need to all come together. Okay, and of course IIT Bombay is with you, and I'm going to be here for next 1 month, so if you need any support from my side, please let me know, and I think I'll conclude over here. Thank you, Honorable Chief Minister.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rupal, for that very insightful presentation. I think the framework that you have outlined has demonstrated monitoring can make a real difference at the household level. Since it's a very long session, I was curious if anyone would like to ask any question before we move on to the next session. If anybody is curious about anything, we will just like to give 2 to 3 minutes. Anybody interested? Okay. So, okay, yeah, we have, okay. Can you pass on the microphone, please? Yeah. Yeah, the microphone is being brought to you.
Respected Chief Minister, I'm so happy to be here in your midst, and the chairperson, the MC. As I listened to whatever was given just now, 2 things a lot of things came to my mind, but one of them is this: we stress a lot on 6 months breastfeeding and all that, but I notice here that the maternity leave given to mothers is not only just 6 months, so there won't be enough time for the mother to breastfeed her child. But I know in some countries the maternity leave is given about 2 years, until the child is properly developed. I think this is one area where we really need to put in. I think this is important. And also, I notice here that the paternity leave, or whatever you call it, for the fathers is given only 14 days. 14 days, what can the father do? So I feel this is one area where we really need to look into, maybe from the government side. And another thing is the children's tiffins. The tiffin that is given for the children as they go to school. I don't know how nutritious they are. Like our Honorable Chief Minister had mentioned, I think most of the time we just put noodles or this 5 minutes noodles, and by the time the children eat in school, it's gone cold. And some of them, they just carry some biscuits. So there are some things that we really need to look into. And of course, there are a lot of, just one more, and that is the, about, you know, the pregnancy that's going on, the unplanned pregnancy, the teenage pregnancy. Now, most of these, you know, they don't go and see the doctor during that period, which is so important. So this is something that we really need to look into. Of course, there are a lot of things to contribute here, but these are the few things that I just want to say about the maternity leave of a woman. I think 6 months is just about too less. It should be extended, I think. And another thing is, another thing I want to say is that, you know, many times the baby is left to the maids who are not trained, you know. And so how the maids, you know, take care of the babies, we don't know. Sometimes I've heard that even the maids eat the food of the babies. I'm sorry to say this, but this is a very practical issue. So I think we really need into this. Thank you very much. And the fathers, sorry, somebody had prompted me about the fathers. I think the fathers also should be trained, you know, not left only to the mothers.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll just, in fact, respond to that. While, you know, we can go into so many of the different situations that individuals and families face, it will be quite difficult for us to solve every single situation that comes in front. Now, for example, the maid issue that is there. Well, I appreciate the concern, but you know, for government to now come in and say that whether a policy be created for maids and management and tracking system may be difficult for us to do. So yes, it is a problem, but I think what we are trying to do is, even if we can resolve 60-70% of the critical issues, and we'll try to look at a problem, you know, from the point of view, again, I repeat this all the time, that it is very, very important for all of us, especially government, you know, to understand, to break down and crack the real reason why the problems are happening. You see, and that, I think if we are able to really crack that code, you know, 90% of our job is done. Because normally what happens is that we look at a particular problem and, you know, or rather the result, and we think that that is the problem, and we don't look at the actual problem that's leading to the result. That happens a lot of times in government. And that's the reason why we spend a lot of time with experts to figure it out. So what I'm trying to tell you is that while there will be some kind of issues that are there which affect maybe 10%, 15%, 20% of the cases, what we are trying to do at the beginning is to really get a larger picture and get a larger you know, context of things and try to resolve them at a larger scale, so that on an average thing starts coming down, because it will be very difficult for us to resolve every single problem that is there. That's number one. Number two, regarding the maternal leaves, yes, it's a concern. You know, we, from the government side also, we have got about 60,000 employees, plus minus, and say on an average about 50% plus minus would be women. So yes, definitely about 30,000, 35,000 families are there which are impacted. and definitely we can examine that aspect also. But when it comes to the overall larger problem, we are seeing that this problem is more when we see in rural areas, and more so with the economically weaker section. Especially we are seeing this in villages, in rural areas, and these are individuals who are mostly on daily wage or MEGNREGS, or are from farmer background, or at the village level. And hence, again, as I said, from a larger perspective, we are trying to resolve that issue. I'm not saying that the maternity leave issue is not important. It is important, and definitely we'll examine that. But I think it'll be important for us to be able to maybe look at the low-hanging fruits and see where we can actually have a greater impact with minimum interventions, is what we're trying to understand out here. So, for example, when we talk about breastfeeding, we realize that, like for example, a simple example which I'll tell you is a practical example, is that when we were discussing about this entire thing, we realized that, and which could be a very practical problem, is that the mothers, once the baby is born, they are so poor that they have no choice but to go and work again. So suddenly after a month or 2 months, they don't want to leave the baby, but they have to go to work in GNREGS, they have to go and work in the field, they have to go and work as laborers. So that's really what we are trying to touch. These are the ones that are the weakest and the most neglected in society. So we said, can we come out with a program which will support financially these women who don't even have money to buy, the next meal. And because they have no choice, they have to actually leave the baby behind. And I think, though I appreciate the concerns of the maternal leave that you're mentioning, but I would then look at the women in the rural areas and the ones who don't even have money to buy the next meal, and say that, look, can I resolve this one first, and can we put our minds to this one? So really, we're trying to compartmentalize and kind of segregate different problems and see what we can do, because everything has got domino effect, and once we start affecting one policy, then other policies start affecting. So we have not come to that, though that's definitely an area which we are looking at. But as I said, if we were to go into all the issues at this point in time, then we will not be able to make any headway into the whole problem. So while we're concerned and we'll keep this, suggestions are there, but I think right now my mind and my heart and my entire attention is really on the rural sector, especially. I'm not saying that urban is not important. I'm not saying that government employees are not important. Please don't take me otherwise. There'll be so many people who start saying politics in that also. But please understand the larger problem that we're looking at, and we're really trying to solve the larger issue, as I said. Because as I was telling the team that, look, I'm ready to, give some kind of a support structure for especially the women in the rural areas who just don't have even, as I said, money to buy the next meal. They shouldn't have to go and work in the field, for at least a few months till the baby is at least 6 months plus. So I think these are the kind of choices that we are trying to make and trying to come up with. And definitely I'll take a note of what was mentioned by Madam. But as I said, we have a larger goal and larger problem at hand, and we feel that certain of these exercises will definitely help in resolving the problem. But thank you so much for the suggestions.
Anyone else?
It's like a CM Connect here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Check. Thank you, Honorable Chief Minister. I really appreciate what you are doing, taking this initiative of breastfeeding, and to all the dignitaries on the dais for your valuable contribution. There are so many points that arose in the presentations, so many questions, but as the former questionnaire came out, one of the areas that I'm really concerned about is, which was already raised earlier, the role of fathers. The 1,000-day program appears to be biased towards females. We are not privileged with breastfeeding, but we represent half of the population. And if we are contributing to the growth of the child, my question is this, that how can we as fathers be equipped? A lot of things that has been presented is for the mothers, how important it is. And the emphasis that was given is on the mothers, on government agencies, on faith-based, on social organization. But one area that I really saw being, there's an oversight was the role of fathers. What can fathers do? Is there some graph? Is there some chart? Is there some pamphlet that we can look and monitor, whether it is on the mother, on the child, on the family, but at the same time, that as the chairperson has just said about him wanting to be involved in the child's growth, which I compliment you, sir. But for us, the rest of us fathers, that we can see the mother doing this, the child doing this, and as a provider, that we would be enthused to provide, to be a caregiver, to be given incentives. So my question is this, what can the government do to encourage fathers to be involved in the caregiving of the child and the mother? Thank you.
That was a really great question. And I think the answer is there in the question itself, that fathers need to participate. And again, if you remember during the presentation, I just made a very small comment saying that we will evolve. We are not here with a perfect solution to everything. We will learn, we will evolve, we will adapt. We would like to see that more and more stakeholders come in. I don't think this kind of a meeting with so many stakeholders and another 60, 70 locations connected through internet, such a large scale discussion and large scale effort has ever been done, when it comes to especially child, nutrition and health issue. And so that's the whole idea. So therefore, we are not saying that we have got the perfect solution, and but we want to start, and that's why we are here. And therefore, as correctly mentioned, that there is a huge role that the fathers can also play, and definitely as we move along, that aspect is something that we would like that the involvement of the fathers also to be there. But as I said, we are starting off with the basic problem right now, the basic issue, which again is around stunting and malnutrition, and that's why we have figured out that it's the breastfeeding and the basic combination of the foods, avoiding certain things, which starts off the entire thing. So therefore, 60 to 70%, I would say, I'm not a technical person, but I'm just guessing, 60 to 70% of the problems can be resolved by just these basic steps that we just discussed. And then we will keep improving. And, there's so many headmen I'm seeing out here, who have been there in so many of our meetings. Some of them must be wondering, why am I here? What is my role? Really, we are trying to figure out what your role is, to be very frank. But we know that you have a role. We know that you have something you can do. We want you to tell us also what you can do. And tomorrow you say that, can we as headmen have an awareness program every month where we call all the mothers, we have a thing, can you send experts to us, and can you help us financially to have these small programs and meetings and awareness, and we can ask our women's group to have an awareness program within the locality or within that village, and can you give us some support fund to do that? Yes, we can, and we will do it. But I need that initiative to be done, and so that's the reason why we're connecting with all of you, because we just want to figure out how, and because we know that this can't be done just by, as correctly mentioned by Madam earlier, by just, one Sampath or one officer or one Ronald, or, it won't happen. It has to be the entire state and society to work along. So yes, there is a role. We are figuring it out. We are not yet there. Simple things which were earlier mentioned, even small interactions which the parents do, which the fathers do, play a very, very important role. Ronald has shared it, so I can also share. So I'm also, we're also blessed with this, with our son, who's about a year, month old. And, for me, it's just these interactions that I do with him that matter a lot. And, just playing with him for about 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, even in my busy schedule. is something that I cherish, but I'm sure that's having a huge impact in how his brain is developing. So therefore, it's a natural connect, and it need not be even a scientific thing. It's just spending time and just interacting and being there, and at least he knows who I am. So that's a great thing. So he's looking for me. I can make out. So he takes my name. My name means he calls me obviously Papa. So at the age of 1, he's already he can identify me. He calls me, and that's what it is all about. So it's about giving time. It's about really interacting. So I'm not a scientific guy like the rest of the people on the stage, but just giving my experience as a father. That's what we do. So I think that's really what is important, and I'm sure we'll develop it as we go along. But I think the important part to note is that, as correctly mentioned, that fathers have a role to play. I think if that message itself can go, I think that would be a great message. So this is a great question, and as I said, the answer is in the question itself. That fathers have to do something. What it is, well, we have to figure it out. Let's move along. We'll see how it goes. It'll start with just giving time. I think that's my basic answer to it. But I'm sure the experts here, including Professor Sampath, will be able to come out with the actual processes and steps of how we could actually do that interaction. But I think Sampath will add more to it.
Thank you, sir. No, thank you, sir. You already said very beautifully. So I think Pastor Momin, your question was very, I think we just mentioned what as Mission 1000, we also wanted active participation of men. For that, actually, there is a Chief Minister's Headman Fellowship Program, where as every month, at least once in a month, the respective headmen, along with the faith leaders in the village and the SHG leaders, they will have this. Every month they learn something new. For example, playing with the children actually causes, learning. Actually, in fact, there is a concept called servant return. Whatever you do, children actually will, give back. So the brain, develops so beautifully with that servant return kind of a connection. So a lot of time, spending a lot of time learning all those things, games, how to play with the children, so that you can actually ensure early stimulation. So that learning, that's where we said at least once in a month, every father should come to the Anganwadi center for that learning session. So that is something, what you said, what is the role of the father? So these are the things that, and as I said, there is a science, fathers now, the recent science says, fathers also release oxytocin when they play with the children. So it's a beautiful thing. Then that actually helps in family bonding. So in fact, one of the things I want to say, DGP ma'am, I think she wrote when there was some rape or some young, happened in Ribhoi. They said young boy committed something. Then they said there is the family, broken families. In fact, this concept actually will build the family bonding. There will not be, there is a less scope of, that's the kind of an idea. So definitely, that's why it requires a whole of a society approach. It requires a tremendous investment in terms of that, so that briefly about that, I would like to add. I think we are taking a lot of time. I think we can just go ahead.
Sure. Thank you. So, so given the paucity of time, we will move forward with the program. But just to add, there's one saying by Mother Teresa, if you want to change the world, go home and raise a good family. So I think, we all have a big role to play, both fathers and mothers. Moving along, we now come to the official launch of the Mission 1000 Days. But this is a launch to be headed by Chief Minister, but this is a launch by everyone. So I request everyone on the dais to kindly come forward. I request the faith-based organization who are sitting and the dignitaries on the front row to come forward. And everybody sitting can rise up together. This is a unified launch for Mission 1000 Days. Thank you. Please be seated. As a symbol of the state commitment to supporting mothers and their newborn, the Honorable Chief Minister will now distribute mother and baby kits to 10 mothers who have been, identified today. We also have mothers from Ganesh Das, but the mothers from Ganesh Das will be given the mother's kit at Ganesh Das Hospital only. I request Honorable Chief Minister and the dignitaries on the dais to kindly come forward, and I request the officials from the health department to kindly, ask the mothers to come forward to receive the mother and baby kit. We have Miss Kavina Nongdhar. Kavina Nongdhar. Next is Ivelin Khars Em Yong. Next is Achilia, thank you. Next is Genet Karmoplang. Next is Paulina Momin. Next, Vita Lingdo. Followed by Pinky Suting, Evangeline's Aim, and Caroline Khongsit. We request all the mothers to kindly please stand here for a group photograph. Kindly stand here. I request the official to kindly assist the mothers to kindly. Yeah. Kindly come for the group photograph. You can keep the box, it's okay. Yeah. So the mother and baby kit is an initiative under the Honorable Chief Minister. It will be given to all pregnant mothers. It have basic kit for mothers and for their babies. Thank you. I request dignitaries to continue to stand on the floor. Next, as a sign of, we had launched the CM Headman Fellowship Program during the Cabinet Retreat. As a sign of our commitment towards this program, we now want to invite some of the headmen forward to provide them with flyers. We have Shri Bornas Imyong, Sardar Pindam Mairang. Kindly come forward. Next is SS Khong Liam, Rongba Shnong Maulai Putmuvi, Ai Te Lang Thao, Rongba Shnong Nong Pure, New Shai Krim, Sardar Maupadeng, Thiang Ar Maubo, Rongba Shnong Laimukva, Dennis Ar Lingva, Rongba Shnong Nongva, Reuter Robson El Maunai, Rongba Shnong Maushinrut, Bitistar Rani, Rongba Shnong Mairang Mission, Dipsyang Marbanyang, Rongba Shnong Moyong Rim, and Kraubor Vinja, Rongba Shnong, Laj Maulong, Laj Lingkot. Request all the headmen to kindly stand so we can have a group photograph also. So we'll have a group photograph, sir, if you can come here. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. So we have one more ceremony. Yeah. Thank you, Rang Vaishnavs. So under the Meghalaya Healthcare Advancement Policy 2024, the primary objective of the policy is to build a robust healthcare ecosystem within the state, minimizing the need for citizens to seek treatment outside Meghalaya. A financial assistance was given to private entities, trusts, mission, NGOs, and public-private partnership. In 2005, the following institution reserved the first installment of 1 crore each out of the sanction of 2 crores. That is Nazareth Hospital, Shillong, Dr. H. Gordon Robert Hospital, Shillong, Tura Christian Hospital, Tura, Holy Cross Hospital, Tura, Dr. Norman Tunnel Hospital, Jowai. Now, further assistance under the policy will be extended to the following healthcare facility. I now request the representative from Sacred Heart Health, Ria Joan, to come and receive the sanction that will be presented by the under the health department. Sister Ria John. Sister Ria John, if you can continue to stay there, you have another another check to be issued to you for an amount of 59 lakhs 46,733 for Purakasia, West Garo Hills district. I now invite Sister Jeannie John from St. Matthew Health Center, West Garo Hills district. She will be provided a check for rupees 56 lakh 68,125. Next, I would like to invite Sister Felicita Sinkli from St. Mary's Health Center, Mansang East Garo Hills district. She will be provided a check of 48 lakhs 55,780. I now again invite Sister Jeannie John from St. Joseph Health Center for Deku, South Garo Hills district. She will be provided a check of rupees 37 lakhs 87,550. Next, I invite Dr. Sandy Saim, Managing Trustee, Mr. Darrell F. War, Trustee, Dr. L. Salia, Administrator from Suncare Charitable Trust, Shillong East Khas Hills. She will be provided a check of 1 crore. Next, I invite Sister Novarine, Administrator Nazareth Hospital Society, Shillong East Khas Hills. They'll also be provided second installment of an additional 1 crore. Next, I invite the representative from Dr. H. Gordon Robert Hospital, Dr. Kenneth R. L. Nongpure, Medical Superintendent, Dr. Meban Aibor Kharkongor, Head of Department General Medicine, for the second installment of rupees 1 crore. Thank you very much. Dignitaries may resume their seat. So as the Honorable Chief Minister has to lead from the front, and I'll have to ask him again to rise up for the speech from the Honorable Chief Minister. So under the Honorable Chief Minister's leadership, Meghalaya has taken decisive step towards ensuring that the foundation of every child's life is strong, healthy, and nurtured. We are honored to hear the vision and direction for Mission 1000 Days. Honorable Chief Minister, the floor is yours.
Shri Sampath Kumar, our additional Chief Secretary and Development Commissioner, our Director from NIGRIMS, our MD from IBCLC, Dr. Rupal Dalal, all the other dignitaries who are present on the dais, all the officials who are here, all different stakeholders, Rangbashnongs, headmens, our friends who have joined us online from over 60 locations throughout the state, all the beneficiaries of different schemes, our mothers who are present out here, ladies and gentlemen. We have already heard a lot throughout the day, and therefore I don't wish to speak too much. But just to add to the discussions that we had in the last couple of hours, that this particular issue has been of great importance to the team. And when I say team, I mean Team Meghalaya, and to me specifically as the head of the government. In 2018, when we started our journey, one of the first issues that came in front of me was the high maternal mortality rate in our state. And it bothered me and all the team members to the extent that we tried everything possible to bring it down. But that experience taught us many things. The first, which I've already shared with you, is that we need to always look at a problem and be able to identify the cause of the problem and only then address the problem. Because in many, many cases, we end up, as I said, looking at the result of the problem and think that that is the problem. Just to give a small example, when we used to have just 50% pass mark in the metric exam, in the class 10 exam, for 1 week everybody used to be in great sorrow. What is happening? Why our children are not passing? What is the problem with this education system? Are the teachers are not performing? Are the parents not doing enough? Are the kids not studying? And after 2 weeks of discussion, everybody would be back to their life. And therefore we started digging into these problems and saying, well, we can't look at that 50% and say, well, this is the problem. There is another reason for that problem which is leading to that result. And we started looking at the different issues and we realized that at the grassroots level, when it comes to rural areas, children just don't have access to the information, the data, the questions that they need to have. And in almost every state in the country, we realized that there were different guidebooks that were being made and supported, which allowed children to then clear the exams. So like that, we realized that in maternal mortality also, it's not just about the institutional delivery, but it is really about the access when the mother needs the access and the support, that system that is required, whether financially, whether medically, whether nutritionally. These things were not available at that point in time. And the high-risk mothers were the mothers which we needed to focus on. And when we started to analyze and dissect this entire problem, slowly and steadily, it took us about 3 years, we started to realize that we need to take specific interventions, tailor-made interventions, to be able to cut the number of deaths during delivery that the state was seeing. And of course, at the larger scale, we realized that we need to make women economically more active, empower them economically. It was an overall society aspect which we realized led to the fact that the mothers were, getting pregnant very, very frequently. There were some mothers who were 23 years old giving birth to their 5th child, to their 6th child. And obviously that leads to a lot of trauma for the mother. So these kind of things helped us to analyze the situation, and we managed to today, almost cut the maternal mortality rate by almost 50%. I'm just sharing this with you because it's something very close to my heart. And I'm very happy to see that we are actually able to make a difference in people's lives today and save lives today. And I hope that there will be a day that will come where not a single mother will have to lose her life while giving or bringing life into this world. That's really what our motto and our target is. And I'm sure with support from everybody, we will be able to achieve that. Can you put the slide? This is one slide. I just want to share this one slide with all of you. This is what we call Mission 10. And I think all of you must have heard about this, and I think a lot of people have criticized also, some people have understood. This is the roadmap that we have laid down for Meghalaya. Of course, it started with the $10 billion economy, because we were at $4.4 billion when I took over as Chief Minister in 2018. Today, we are almost touching $7 billion. And we are very, very hopeful that we'll be able to touch 10 billion. We have a target of 16 billion by 2032, and we have $150 billion economy by 2047. So that's a roadmap we have laid, but this is till 2032. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because a lot of people need to understand what we're trying to do. While economic growth is important for us, while this number of GDP or GSDP of 10 is very important for us, it does not speak about the overall growth story that we are trying to talk. And therefore, while a secretariat is important for us, it's an infrastructural growth, it's a growth of a new city, a new hub that comes up. While different festivals are important for us, because it promotes tourism, it creates jobs, it promotes this concert economy, which has got multiplier effect in terms of economics, where ensuring that we have different stadiums being made for sports activities to happen, where it's important for us to construct large roads and a huge network so that people have accessibility to education, to healthcare, to all different aspects. While we'll do all of these things, economic investment and growth must be balanced. And that is the key to ensuring that we have a healthy and a sustainable economy in the long run. And therefore, if you look at the commitments that we have, in the commitments, there is one commitment that talks about nutrition and early childhood development. So what we're doing here today is not just something that we just thought of doing. It is part of the bigger plan. It's part of the bigger picture. All the 10 opportunities on top are areas which we strongly feel that we can unlock unlimited potential out of this and create the kind of jobs, create the kind of economic, the momentum we require, create the kind of infrastructure that is required, build up the entrepreneurship ecosystem, so on and so forth. But while we do that, is that enough? It's not. It's not enough. And that is the reason why we need to ensure that there are commitments that we give. That while we do all of this, we will take care of our environment. While we do all of this, we will take care of our children, our mothers. We will take care of the elderly. While we'll do all of these things, we will ensure that drinking water, power, network, all of these facilities will be available at the grassroots level. Better efficiency in governance will happen. So all of this will be part of the larger Mission 10 of our government. And that is why we are here today. Our economic growth will mean nothing if we are not able to save mothers' lives. all the large infrastructures we create is going to mean nothing if we are not able to provide healthy environment for our young children. If we're not able to take care of their nutrition, if we're not able to make sure that we are able to eradicate stunting and malnutrition, SAM and MAM children from our system. And that is why we are here today. To be able to achieve that goal that we have already set. This is something we did almost 4 years back, and we've been working on this. I'm announcing this today. Doesn't mean that we have just planned it today. Dr. Rupali and others have been here, Dr. Rupal and others have been here for almost a year now. Before that also, many areas have been worked on. But we feel we are finally ready to be able to move forward and launch this particular program. Having said that, another aspect, if you remember, in 2023, in my budget, I had shared with all of you that while economic growth is important for us, it is important to create a happy society. Now, what is happiness? It's always a big question mark, and I really don't have an answer to it. But all I can say is that the overall environment that we provide, where society can be together, where needs and wants will be unlimited, but a level of satisfaction to know that yes, we are blessed to be able to have this, and can we nurture this? Can we be happy with this? Can we ensure that negativity reduces in our society? So on and so forth. I feel these are the small things that we need to do. So while we do all of this, in the Anganwadi centers, let me share with you that our target is to make the Anganwadi centers what we call happiness centers. We don't want Anganwadi centers to be just places where children will be there. I hope that we will create a happy learning center for elders also in the same campus. And in the same campus, we'll be having games and physical exercise and nutrition for our elders and for our children. And we will actually have an environment where the elders will then see the young children, play with them, read them stories, have that interaction which I was telling you about how a father should do. Well, a lot of our senior citizens are there. They can help us in this entire process if we are able to provide that ecosystem in terms of having the Anganwadi centers become into what we call active learning centers come happiness center. So these are things that we are working on, and we hope that we'll be able to create. Last point which I want to share with you, which is again of very great importance to me, is the fact that we're starting with just children. We're talking about children. I think Dr. Rupal had mentioned about the fact that we have, I don't know the technical term for it, but we have children having early diabetes now. And this is something that, of course, we all need to be concerned and worried about. But I think all of you will also know that a large number of renal failure that's happening, the kidney failure that we are seeing, a large part has to do with actually sugar and diabetes. And it is all about lifestyle diseases. So while we think of so many other things, I'm so sorry, I don't mean to be against any companies or any juice companies or biscuit companies, but we need to remember that every snack we have, every biscuit we have, every glass of juice we drink, which we think is great for us, has that impact that we are having on our body. And realizing this, we also need to realize that knowing what to eat, when to eat, and how to eat is also equally important. So therefore, these kind of things of ensuring that the correct food habits come into our system, not just for children, but for all of our society, I think is something that is very, very important to us. So I hope that I'll be able to link all of these things to create a much more healthier society. So yes, we're starting with 1,000-day program. Yes, we'll be having this in the Anganwadis. Yes, we'll be converting this into an active aging center where we would want elders to interact with the children and children to interact with the elders. And we would like to see this whole nutrition program, which we are focusing on children, become a larger message for the rest of society. So all of these things are there in the chart and in the vision that we have in front of us. And I hope in the days to come, we'll be able to implement this. So I'm just sharing with you my thoughts. We are very far from actually being able to actually implement it, but it's just an idea of what we want to do. Because there's so many of you present out here today, I thought it's a good platform to share that vision and the thought that we all have been building on in the last many years, I should say. Coming to the 1,000-day program, just to share with you all that we have earmarked 127 crores for this program. This will be rolled out, as I said, tomorrow itself. We'll start the process. Different systems to provide support to mothers, especially economically weaker section of society, so that they're able to give time to their children. Those systems are going to be worked out. Additional nutrition will be provided to the children and to the mothers, so that overall a need as per the balanced diet which is required will also be provided to the mothers. Different training programs will be supported by the government in the whole process. You must have just seen that we gave small kits to mothers. Somebody must be wondering what that kit is. But as we moved along, we got feedback from people, and these are feedbacks from nurses and from doctors. And I must share this with you. It's my wife who told me this. So she told me that she had spoken to some of the nurses and some of the doctors who are in the rural areas and really interior locations. And she told me that the doctors said that the mothers don't even have clothes to put on to the baby when they're born. That's how economically, backward they are. That even that one shirt or that one pant or whatever, the frock or the towel or the basic vitamins that are required or whatever it is required for the mother and others and the kid, they don't have that because they don't have the money to pay for it. And that is what prompted me to come to the decision that then we will provide that kit. So in this kit, there is a clothing for the baby, so that the mother can keep it and use it. There are different, aspects and different ingredients which the mother can use. There's a booklet to show her what she should do and more importantly, what she should not do, and so on and so forth. And we will keep improving these kits because, as I said, we are on a mission mode out here. And we are going to do everything to make sure that we are able to reduce, and as Professor Sampath has mentioned, we want to ensure that right now we are at the bottom, but we want to come out as the top state where we see complete reduction of stunting and malnutrition. That's a target we're going with. It may look very difficult right now, but that's how we work. So we're not concerned about the challenges that are there. We will work together to overcome those challenges, but we need everybody's support out here. And yes, we have so many people who have given us so many great suggestions, but as I said, we can't implement everything in one go. Everything requires time. It's a phase. We need cooperation and we need support from all of you to be able to really make this happen. And I have a very, very positive feeling about this, that it will happen. And like in the maternal mortality case, where we came out as a shining example in the whole country, that Honorable Prime Minister requested and asked the Health Department to showcase that in the presentation of the Chief Secretary's conference, which Prime Minister heads. This particular model and this particular this MMR case was presented in that conference. So it's a great, great example for the entire country. And I'm sure that even this program that we are starting, Mission 1000, will become a role model and a system which not just states in the country, but also different countries will adopt in the future. And that's the kind of aggressiveness and the mode that which we are moving forward with. But for us to be able to achieve that will require, as I said, the support and contribution of everyone. To conclude, please don't think and feel that, what can I do? There's a lot each one can do. As I said, it's a question of you wanting to do it. And you telling yourself that, well, I'm going to contribute. And I expect that kind of commitment and volunteerism will come from you. Then yes, government will support. But you have to give us those ideas. You have to tell us what is it that you want to do. And we'll be there to support you in order to make this mission, a successful one. So friends, coming back to our Mission 10, this is one of the key areas for us. And we will ensure that this happens. And that's the reason we decided that before the next financial year starts, we want to roll this out. All our friends who have joined us from the different villages, from different blocks, from different districts, please remember that no matter what speech we give out here, at the end of the day, it is you who's working at the grassroots who's going to make the real difference. So therefore, you have to take this up as a challenge, take this up as a mission, and then go ahead with it. If you look at this as your duty and your job, it will never be successful. Every life you save, every child you're able to give a better health to, that should be your mission. Not your mission to complete 8 hours of duty, not your mission to complete the nutrition packages that have to be boiled and distributed, but base your results on the outcomes of how you have improved a child's life. And I think if that can be your guiding principle and goal, I think that's when you will get into a mission mode, and that's when we will be successful. So wishing you all the very best, and thanking you all for joining in this program. And we apologize, this program went on very long, but it's a very, very important program for us. I thank Dr. Rupal and her team also for the tremendous job that they have done. You can see the kind of passion that they have in order to achieve this goal. And let me assure her and her team that we are going to work with them in every possible way to ensure that we give full support to them and to each and every one of you to achieve these goals. Regarding the support we're giving to all the hospitals, this is again part of our plan and strategy, where we realize it's not just government machinery and government system. We need to involve all stakeholders in order to provide better health system and better health facilities at the grassroots level to the citizens of our state. My only request to all these hospitals would be to work with us on a mission mode for this nutritional program also. Maybe you can adopt one particular district. Maybe you can adopt one particular block. Maybe you can adopt one village and say that this is what we're going to take up. And this is not just for the hospitals. If different localities, areas, NGOs, organizations, you can also adopt a particular village and say we will visit every month to one village, to that particular village, to give our support, to give our the awareness campaign, to give our help in whatever way possible. I think that would be a real movement from the grassroots level, and it's only then can we succeed in our mission. Wishing this mission and each one of you the very best. May God bless this mission, and may God bless our beautiful state of Meghalaya. Kublai Shibun, Matela, and Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for that very aspiring speech. I don't know what makes a person happy, but I know one thing that definitely makes everybody happy, and I've seen it with every parent when they speak about their child. There's always a glow in their eyes, there's always that feeling of pride. So I believe this mission really touches each and every one of us, and I hope that we will be true to our commitment to fulfill mission 1000 days in exactly 1000 days. Moving forward, we now come to a defining moment of collective commitment. Before we close the formal program, we will take the mission 1000 days pledge together, a pledge that binds each one of us in this hall and even the people at the district and blocks to the cause of ensuring a healthy start for every child in Meghalaya. We have placed the pledge in all the bags of all the people who have come, so you can take them out and kindly rise up. And I request the Honorable Chief Minister to kindly lead us on this pledge.
Today we stand together
Today we stand together
to support every pregnant and lactating mother,
to support every pregnant and lactating mother,
to give every child the right start,
to give every child the right start,
to protect, nurture, and care during the first 1000 days,
to protect, nurture, and care during the first 1000 days,
To ensure breastfeeding begins within the first hour.
To ensure breastfeeding begins within the first hour.
To support exclusive and effective breastfeeding for the first 6 months.
To support exclusive and effective breastfeeding for the first 6 months.
To support timely, safe, adequate, and nutritious complementary feeding from 6 months to 24 months, along with continued breastfeeding.
To support timely, safe, adequate, and nutritious complementary feeding 6 months to 24 months, along with continued breastfeeding.
To make safe drinking water, hand washing, and clean surroundings part of everyday life.
To make safe drinking water, hand washing, and clean surrounding every part of everyday life.
To ensure health, nutrition, sanitation, and government support come together at the household level.
To ensure health, nutrition, sanitation, and government support come together at the household level.
To work together across departments, frontline systems, communities, and families.
To work together across department, frontline systems, communities, and families.
To make sure services reach on time and no mother or child is left behind.
To make sure services reach on time and no mother or child is left behind.
We will act early.
We will act early.
We will act consistently.
We will act consistently.
And we will act together.
And we will act together.
Because what happens in the first 1,000 days shapes everything that comes after.
Because what happens in the first 1,000 days shapes everything that comes after.
All government functionaries and community leaders take this pledge together.
All government functionaries and community leaders take this pledge together.
To build a healthy, happy, and prosperous Meghalaya.
To build a healthy, happy, and prosperous Meghalaya.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. As we come towards the conclusion of the formal program, it is time to express our gratitude. May I invite Srimati Camelia Doreen Lingwa, Director, Social Welfare Department, Government of Meghalaya, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Ronald. The quality of a state is a reflection of who God puts in leadership to govern the land. And we are standing here today for one decision made by the head of the land. So the great teacher says, while I am in the world, I am the light of the world. And I also always put it humorously, now that he has gone up, it is our duty to pay our bills to make our power. But with that, I would want to say, Isaiah 60, arise, shine, for the light has shined. And it is now in our vision statement in Social Welfare Department, which has about 15,000 employees, and 85% of us are women. So the Matrilineal Society, USP, which is she bore and Kadar bore, the Kasi is 1 string versus a 12 string in the men, which we have translated it today to English as she power, SHEPOWER, and it just coordinates together, and it is a miracle, therefore, that we would have in our state of Meghalaya, 38 lakhs population, a leader whom we can look up to, a leader that we enjoy listening to, a leader that has rightly put even the professionals, be it the educationists, the educators, especially the medical professional. If you are to sit in the room, you would enjoy the kind of intellectual, uplifting thoughts and communication and dialogues that would come, that it is a joy to be under the leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, Dr. Conrad Konkal Sangma, who has spearheaded a new Meghalaya that we even say Megha Rise. And so with that, sir, we are so grateful that it is you who, in the meeting on the 26th of March that we have just held, that you believe enough in us that we could mobilize. It is the 31st of March, the financial year ending. But for us, it's not just finances and currency. The wealth we have is the intellectual. The wealth we have is the light, the enlightenment that we have from you. And I cannot ever but look at the lighthouse and have it as an analogy to our very own Chief Minister. So from the whole country in India, that Meghalaya would dare to rise with all the challenges, no international airport, no railway station, no flyovers, but we have chosen to rise. And in fact, we have been the lead state for NEP 2020, first 0 to 8 years, where the Chief Minister, in his wisdom, in his intelligence, have tapped it to make social welfare the lead department through the Anganwadis, catering to 5 lakhs children, catering to the 6,000 Anganwadi centers, to make it the happiness center. And with that, therefore, we have the Meghalaya Early Childhood Development Mission. If we are sitting here today as a government, it's truly because we have a mission headed by our very own Honorable Chief Minister. He deserves the applause. So can we give him a very big hand clap? When you see the first question in the assembly, the queries that would come, it is why are there so many consultants? It is like having a plane. When you have a plane or a jet, and they want to say in Umroi, give jobs to our own people, we cannot give it to Badu or Bading. We need a real pilot. So when there's a pilot, you have to have the skill, the expertise, and the experience and the knowledge. And that is the intelligence, again, of our Honorable Chief Minister, when he would identify and tap into the potential of bureaucrats and lead. And that is why we have today Dr. Sampat Kumar, Additional Chief Secretary in the government of Meghalaya, who has been piloting every vision of the Chief Minister. Thank you so much, sir, for being able to disseminate to us, the people in the land, what the Chief Minister would visualize, what he wants, and it is through you, because he is a people's bureaucrat. He has done so much tours throughout the length of breadth of Meghalaya that we could not really do so because we are like limited in our being Shibor. But sir would come back, and even now as I'm speaking, all the 12 districts are being manned by the different deputy commissioners and the district social welfare officers to listen to this 1,000-day launch. And the fact that we have faith leaders here is because our Honorable Chief Minister himself understands the impact of missions, be it education, be it healthcare, and be it the social concern. And with that, while the rest of the world, through unplanned pregnancy, are giving the narrative of pro-choice, Meghalaya Rise, where we have the Chief Minister wanting to save the unborn child. We are in a God story. And he is a Chief Minister who wants to save the mother. And that we have gone all out mission mode, round the clock. And if you have to come and see downstairs, that is a state-funded endeavor by our own Honorable Chief Minister. He funds from the state fund mother or women in need of care and protection, not necessarily widows, not necessarily orphans, but because of the economic index. And that is where investment has been made. You might not know it, but since the Chief Minister talks about communication and dialogue, you're listening today. And so under his lead, we can therefore see what we have here in the dais, the director from NEGRIMS, Dr. Nalin Mehta. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate your time investment, the energy, your presence that you here to show that your support for the medical professional who are here. Dr. Rupal, who has been with us, if you should see our WhatsApp, it's flooded by all the training, the modules, the outcomes that Dr. Rupal has so committedly given. So we are aware of what happens throughout the length and breadth of in Meghalaya about every child that comes and how the care taken is done by the frontline workers. We have with us here Deputy Commissioner Madam Rosette. Thank you so much, ma'am. She represents all the other DC who right now are sitting through a video conference mode. We have with us these the lungs of healthcare. Dr. Neela, Dr. Balas, thank you so much, directors. And we also have with us here Dr. Kenneth, thank you so much, and Dr. Sandy, Sir Darrell, representing your different institutions. I will not be able to name all the names, but to all the doctors who are in the medical field, we have spoken. Thank you so much for your work around the clock, 24/7. The fact that the whole, department from health department is here is because you have done the task 24/7 the whole year through, and today we stand to celebrate our chief minister, because had we not have a leader like him, it would not be possible. We would have gone with our own mundane duties of files, or else just the mundane routine works. We are so grateful that because of the good health, the breath of life, oxygen and water that we have, we can sit together here today with the members of the Baptist Church, the Catholic Church, the Church of God, the Kasi Jaintia Presbyterian Church, the Potternet Ministry, the Reach Ministry, Soul Ministry, the Sikh community. Thank you so much, sir, for being conspicuous by your presence right from the start. And we appreciate all the leaders of the Shillong All Faith Forum. We have a religion, it's called humanity. We have a Bible, it's called the Constitution. And on that, your presence makes every difference. There, in case I miss out all the some of the faith leaders, please excuse. We also have the headmans and the Rangbat Shnong from the different Shnong. Thank you for working with us. Thank you for being the warriors and the men of honor in your different communities and localities. Even the Pa'im from Molinkpana is here, and we appreciate it so much that you give the support to us in different sectors. And to all the departments that are here, the directors from DRT, Jackie, the director of Disel Bante, and all the others whom I will not be able to mention the name, Dr. Sandra Albert, I'm so grateful, Sir Iban, and Dr. Lalu, and other NGOs. I acknowledge here publicly the presence of the health department, the education department, the public health engineering department, the agriculture department, the community and rural development department, commissioner of persons with disability, Lincor, state resource center for disability affairs, the Meghalaya health strengthening programs, and the state health resource centers, and all the others, and especially from the state, strengthening SCEP. These are the mission mode which we have been able to tap all our young people back from different parts of the country, if not the world. They have come back and they are with us because we have an honorable chief minister who sees the future. So it's always Meghalaya on the move. It's a futuristic. He has a global outlook, and everything we do today is because we have that kind of a future. And to the press, thank you for covering it. And this event, if you have seen it all, I have to personally thank Ronald and Nena and the entire team, especially Dawan, who have round the clock in just a few days put up the flex and the educational materials so that you can have and see what is being done in Meghalaya. With this, I thank the DIPR too for covering this event and for making it easy for all of us to hear. And thank you so much. Lunch is prepared, and may we continue to be proud of our state. We have sang the anthem, thanks to our Honorable Chief Minister again, where we are able to own our own. And may the day be good, and may the years be good ahead. Thank you so much, and have a very God-filled, blessed, purpose, meaningful life. And with what our Honorable CM has said, happiness index state. You just have to come and see in social welfare if you want to know. Till 11:30 also. They're still laughing because the funds are coming in. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for ending the program with a lot of energy and incitement. We now officially close the program. We have 2-3 things left, sir. One is we would like to take a group photograph. I request all the dignitaries to come forward. We'll stand and the photograph can take the picture from here. Second, sir, after the group photograph, I would request the Chief Minister again to kindly lead the signing of the pledge. We have a pledge wall outside to initiate the pledge. And after that, we can all proceed for lunch. Lunch has been arranged for all the participants at the banquet hall. Thank you. After CM signs, all the participants here can sign the pledge wall.